So if you guys don't already know, if you guys already know of Team Story, the original Team Story and Team Story Z. Is that all the versions were? Yep. But now we're questioning how many versions we're gonna get. If we get more versions of Team Story, you bet there's gonna be more versions of Villain Story as well. Because if there's gonna be more versions of Team Story, there's got to be more versions of Villain Story as well. Versatile. And we set up in this Team Story Z, the final version. Team Story Z, the final version. We're gonna get a Team Story. No one far from it. Because we got new versions that we're gonna take a look at. But these versions aren't gonna be as long. First off, we need to I'm gonna move that down the way. Flip this. Actually, here was the start with the one that's gonna come on 2024. You got Team Story E. Team Story E. So Team Story E will be a team story. It's gonna tell an even deeper story that goes even further back. So I won't be in the first steps, and I won't. So that means yes, this does mean I will not be in Team Story E1. But maybe you might see a cutscene of me in it. You might see a cutscene of me in it. But you could see me in the second one. And as you can see, these Team Story versions aren't gonna be as long. Yep. So it's just gonna tell this one, but I know it does have a list of how many it's gonna be. Only 20 or 25 or possibly 30 films of this version. Yep, so that's that version of Team Story. There's no version on the back. Okay, so now we got Team Story V. It may sound a bit interesting, but this Team Story is actually going to be telling a story. This Team Story is actually going to be telling a story. It's actually going to be telling the story of how we became a team. Okay, we won't become a team in the first Team Story V, or the second, or the third, or the fourth, or the fifth, or the sixth, or the seventh, or the eighth, or the ninth. Since there's going to only be 10 versions, you bet there's going to be something will happen in the 10th film that'll qualify us as a team. Finally. Which means the Team Story V will have a lot of stories. You have pretty much 10 stories to go through before you see us become a team. Which does mean you have to watch Team Story V before Team Story E. And you have to watch Team Story E before you watch Team Story Z. Because that one's actually telling a story that happens before Team Story Z's story. And Team Story V tells a story that that happens before. Yeah, so they're not really based on the year, but sequels are the same order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Yeah, but versions you don't. But the versions then you don't watch. You don't really watch them by year. If we don't really watch them by year, why is that? Because because what we're really looking for is is it telling the past? Is it telling the future? Is it telling the middle? Like what time? Like the question is, what timeline is it telling? And finally, we got it's on the back. Winnie's on the back. Okay, it's on the back. Right there in front of you. I don't see anything. Just flip it! Go. Oh yeah, Team Story F. This one will be telling the future. Yup, Team Story F will be telling the future. Which means you watch this after you watch all the Team Story films. Yep, that's true. So you watch Team Story F. Yep. So after you watch Team Story, but before you watch any of the Team Story films, the first Team Story we suggest you to start out with, if you don't know the entire story, is Team Story V, because that's the one we suggest you to start out with. Because if you don't know the story, you might have to watch Team Story V you might have to watch all the Team Story Vs before you get into any of them. And if you know how to watch them in order, good. But if you don't know how to watch them in order, then I'll be glad to show you how to watch them in order. Now I'll just write it down. I'll just write it down and show you how to watch it. What order you're watching it in. So what would these films have? These films are films that are. So Team Story is gonna be getting films. Is there gonna be any more versions? Maybe not. But if you know Team Story is gonna get more versions, then so is Villain Story. Yep. If you don't already know what order you have to watch Villain Story in, you watch Villain Story X first, then watch Villain Story 1 and 2. Just watch Villain Story X first, because that's telling the past. But it's not telling about the oldest team. But there will be feature films. So so you don't watch the Team Story versions by year. Like, what's the storytelling? Like, what timeline is it telling? Pretty much had to know it. How about Thor? How about we have Thor be the main character for Team Story V? Team Story V. Thor could be the main. I don't think so. Well, Thor could be the one who's suffering on the new team. Oh yeah, he can be. What about villains? Oh yeah, we'll have to talk about that. Oh yeah, we had to talk about that. Yep. Yep, so there's many versions of Team Story coming. Yep, if you don't know what order you're supposed to watch Team Story in right now, then you have to watch Team Story, you watching, you don't know, for those of you who don't know how to watch Team Story in order right now, you watch Team Story Z, then Team Story 1 and 2. Alright, that's all I had.